Deep within the dense forests of the Kumaon region in northern India, a silent predator lurked, striking fear into the hearts of the local villagers. Blanketed by a canopy of towering sal trees, the Kumaon region is a verdant paradise, teeming with life. Yet beneath this tranquil visage, a sinister presence prowled in the shadows. Unseen, unheard, it moved with lethal grace, its stealth matched only by its deadly intent. The villagers, living on the periphery of this wilderness, whispered tales of this phantom menace. They spoke of its terrifying roars that echoed through the night, of its eerie silence just before the strike. The mere mention of this predator sent shivers down their spines and kept them awake in the terror of the night. But this predator wasn't your typical jungle menace. In the year 1929, the renowned British hunter and naturalist Jim Corbett found himself thrust into a harrowing tale of survival and bravery. Corbett was no stranger to the jungle, yet even he was taken aback by the chilling reports of a notorious duo, a Bengal tigress and her sub-adult cub, who'd become the stuff of nightmares for the local villagers. These were no ordinary tigers. Their reign of terror had claimed an alarming 64 lives, a number that did not account for those who were mauled and succumbed to their injuries later. The horror in the villagers' eyes and their tales of blood-soaked fields and moonlit attacks painted a grim picture of a region held hostage by its own wildlife. Corbett soon became intimately acquainted with the aftermath of the tigers' gruesome attacks. He consoled survivors, like a young girl whose scalp was left hanging in two halves after a vicious encounter with the deadly pair. He witnessed the fear in their eyes, their trembling hands, and their scars, both physical and emotional. Yet it was not horror that consumed Corbett, but a sense of duty. A duty to protect the innocent villagers from further bloodshed, a duty to restore peace to the region, and a duty to remove the shadow of fear that had blanketed the village. The hunter in him knew what had to be done, and so Corbett embarked on a perilous mission to track down the man-eaters before they could claim more lives. He knew the task wouldn't be easy. The tigers were cunning, blending seamlessly into their surroundings, striking swiftly and mercilessly. But Corbett was not one to back down. His resolve was as steady as his aim, his spirit as unyielding as the dense forests of Kumaon. As he ventured deeper into the jungle, he carried with him the hopes and fears of an entire village. The silent predator of Kumaon had met its match, and the stage was set for a confrontation that would go down in the annals of history. The tigers of Chowgarh were cunning adversaries, blending seamlessly into their natural surroundings and striking swiftly when least expected. These elusive creatures were masters of their terrain, utilizing the dense vegetation and rocky outcrops to their advantage, making their detection nearly impossible. But Corbett was no ordinary hunter. He was a man who had honed his skills over years of tracking and hunting, a man who knew how to read the subtle signs of the forest. Each broken twig, each displaced stone, each imprinted paw mark was a breadcrumb in the vast wilderness, leading Corbett closer to his quarry. But the tigers were smart, often doubling back on their tracks, crossing rivers to throw off their scent, and even lying in wait for their pursuer. Corbett's task was further complicated by the rugged and treacherous terrain of the Kumaon region. Steep cliffs, dense thickets, and swift rivers presented formidable obstacles on his quest. Yet his resolve remained unshaken. Each setback, each obstacle, only fueled his determination to protect the innocent villagers from the relentless terror of the man-eaters. The nights were particularly challenging. The darkness brought with it an increased risk of attack, and the chilling cries of the tigers echoing through the forest served as a grim reminder of the danger that lurked nearby. But Corbett was undeterred. He knew that the darkness was also his ally, providing him with cover and the element of surprise. Despite the immense challenges and the ever-present threat of death, Corbett's spirit remained unbroken. His courage was driven not by the thrill of the hunt, but by a deep sense of duty to protect the villagers who had come to regard him as their only hope. His every waking hour was consumed by the hunt. He ate, slept, and breathed the pursuit, driven by an unwavering determination to end the reign of terror inflicted by the man-eaters. His was a mission of mercy, a mission to save lives, a mission that he would not abandon until the threat was neutralized. Undeterred by the dangers that lay ahead, Corbett pressed on. After several close encounters and near misses, Corbett finally found himself face to face with the deadly duo. In the stillness of the dense jungle, the only sounds were the whispers of the wind, the rustling leaves, and Corbett's measured breaths. The hunter had become the hunted. The silence was deafening, a palpable tension hanging heavy in the air. Two pairs of golden eyes, glowing like fiery embers in the dim light, stared back at him. Their gaze was unyielding, a chilling testament to their fierce, predatory nature. These were no ordinary adversaries. They were the tigers of Chowgarh, the silent predators that had terrorized the Kumaon region, claiming the lives of over 60 villages, and now they had set their sights on Corbett. Corbett's heart pounded in his chest like a drum, his every instinct screaming at him to run, to escape, but he stood his ground. He knew that retreating now would mean more innocent lives lost. He was their only hope, their last line of defense against the man-eating tigers. His fingers tightened around the grip of his rifle, its cold metal a stark contrast to the sweat trickling down his palm. He could feel the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, a burden that he carried willingly. He was not just fighting for his own survival, but for the survival of the entire village. His eyes never left the tigers, watching as they prowled closer, their sleek bodies moving with a grace that belied their deadly intent. Every muscle in his body tensed, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. This was it, the final showdown. With nerves of steel and steady hands, Corbett took aim. His finger hovered over the trigger, the anticipation building with each passing second. He waited for the perfect moment, and then he fired. The echo of the gunshot reverberated through the silent forest, shattering the tense standoff. The tigers, once fearsome predators, were now still, their reign of terror brought to an abrupt end. The silence that followed was not one of fear, but of relief. The nightmare was finally over. With nerves of steel and steady hands, Corbett took aim and fired. He had faced danger head-on and emerged victorious, a testament to his bravery, his determination, and his unwavering resolve. It was a moment that would forever be etched in the annals of history. As he surveyed the scene before him, Corbett couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness and respect for these magnificent creatures turned killers. A moment of victory was also a moment of reflection for the gallant hunter. Jim Corbett was no stranger to the world of predators and their primal instincts. He understood the fine balance of nature and respected it. Yet he was forced to take action when that balance was disrupted, when the line between man and beast was blurred by the terror instilled by the man-eating tigers of Chowgarh. His feelings were mixed as he stood over the lifeless forms of the tigers. These were not just predators, they were survivors, forced into the role of man-eaters due to circumstances beyond their control. This realization led to a profound change in Corbett. He began to see his role not just as a hunter, but as a protector, a guardian of the delicate balance between humans and nature. Corbett's actions had a ripple effect on the region. The terror that once gripped the hearts of the villagers was replaced by relief and gratitude. Life began to return to normal. The fields were once again filled with hard-working farmers. The children's laughter echoed in the streets, and the nights were no longer filled with the fear of the unseen. But Corbett's legacy extended far beyond the immediate relief he provided. He became a symbol of courage and resilience, a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. His stories, passed down through generations, served as a reminder of the thin line separating man from beast and the responsibility we all share in preserving that line. Following the hunt, Corbett dedicated his life to the conservation of wildlife. He used his fame and influence to advocate for the protection of India's natural heritage, leading to the establishment of India's first national park in 1936, which was later renamed in his honor as the Jim Corbett National Park. His books, filled with thrilling tales of his encounters with man-eaters, brought to light the plight of wildlife in India, stirring a global conversation about wildlife conservation. To this day, Corbett's writings continued to inspire and educate millions, about the importance of coexistence with nature. Corbett's legacy is not just that of a skilled hunter or a daring adventurer. It is a legacy of compassion and understanding, a testament to his love for the wild and his unwavering commitment to the preservation of nature. His actions, driven by the necessity of his time, sparked a movement that continues to shape our understanding and treatment of wildlife. In the end, it was Jim Corbett's bravery, determination, and unwavering resolve that saved countless lives and cemented his legacy as a true protector of the people against the deadliest of foes. His story is a reminder that even in the face of danger and uncertainty, we have the power to make a difference. Jim Corbett's legacy continues to inspire us to this day,